I didn't plan the visit. I simply turned the wheel and let the night carry me. It was supposed to be a harmless gesture, a surprise stop at my son-in-law's house to drop off a few things he needed for work. My wife had left earlier, saying she was going to check on him too. "He's been feeling overwhelmed," she said. "We should support him." Her tone was soft, too soft, like she was patting something fragile. I didn't question it then. I should have. When I pulled up to his house, the driveway was dim, but her car sat there, angled slightly, like it had been parked in a hurry. My breath thinned. A single, sharp line of suspicion cut through my chest. I stepped out quietly. No reason to knock, not yet. The living room window was cracked open, the thin gap spilling a sliver of warm light onto the cold pavement. I moved toward it without thinking, my body pulled forward by something older than logic. Then I heard it. Not words at first, just her laugh. A soft, breathy sound I hadn't heard in years. My hand tightened on the window frame. Something inside me tilted. Then the voices became clearer, low, intimate, threaded with a familiarity they were never meant to share. My wife, my son-in-law, laughing, whispering, close. A quiet, poisonous heat filled my chest, but I didn't move. I just listened, and my world shifted. Shock doesn't hit like thunder. It lands like dust, quiet, suffocating, impossible to claw out of your lungs. I didn't want to believe what I was hearing. It could have been harmless, a misunderstanding. Two people talking too close, too comfortably. People do strange things when they feel safe. But it wasn't harmless. I knew that by the way her voice softened in a way she never used with me anymore. I knew it by the way he laughed, nervous, eager, like a man teetering on the edge of something forbidden. Then she said his name, not the polite version, the soft, lingering version she used to reserve for me. I stepped back from the window. The betrayal didn't strike all at once. It unfolded slowly, like a bruise spreading beneath the skin. There had been signs, little ones, the kind you ignore because the alternative is too painful. Her sudden concern for his loneliness, her insistence that we keep him close, the new dresses, the late-night texts she always dismissed as harmless family check-ins. I had been blind. Or maybe I had chosen blindness because it was easier. But now I saw everything with brutal clarity. And clarity, once found, never returns to silence. I didn't confront them. Not then. Not with anger. Not with yelling. That kind of release gives people room to defend themselves. I wanted truth. Unavoidable, undeniable truth. So I became quiet, observant, cold. Over the next week, I retraced everything. Her messages, her sudden changes in schedule, his strangely nervous behavior around me. I watched them without appearing to watch. I listened without reacting. A pattern emerged. Ugly, precise, unmistakable. I spoke softly, moved normally, never let my voice rise. Inside, the storm built, controlled, focused. I checked phone records. I traced locations she never meant for me to see. Every inconsistency became a thread, and I followed each one until the entire structure of their lie stood naked in front of me. And still, I said nothing. Revenge is never found in the moment of discovery. It grows in the silence that follows. The final confirmation arrived as an audio file forwarded from a source who didn't want to be involved. Someone who had overheard them too many times. My wife's voice, my son-in-law's voice, breathing, whispering, planning moments they thought belonged only to them. I didn't tremble. I didn't break. I simply exhaled, a long, steady breath that felt like waking up after years of sleep. That evening, I placed my phone on the dining table between us. No anger, no preamble. "Listen," I said. She pressed play, and her world collapsed. Her face drained, her shoulders folded inward. She tried to speak, but guilt is a language that chokes its own voice. I watched her crumble in absolute silence. I didn't need to raise my tone. The truth was loud enough. My revenge was simple. I didn't accuse her, I didn't shout, I didn't demand explanations that would only insult both of us. I just slid a sealed envelope toward her. Inside were screenshots, call logs, and the audio file transcribed line by line. "I'm giving this to him too," I said calmly. She stared at me like she'd been shot, because she knew what that meant. Her marriage to our daughter, our family, everything she claimed to value, gone. I stood, walked to the door, didn't look back. She reached for me, but her hand hung in the air, hesitant, trembling, utterly powerless. My silence was the final blow. Driving away, I felt no triumph, no rage, just a strange, settling stillness. Betrayal doesn't wound forever, it clarifies. I had spent years thinking love required endurance, patience, sacrifice. But sometimes, love requires leaving the fire and watching the sparks die on their own. I didn't speak to her again that night, didn't answer her calls, didn't need to. The truth had already done its work. And when I finally pulled into my driveway, I realized something simple, brutal, and freeing. I wasn't the broken one in this story. I was the one who finally opened his eyes. And once open, they never close again.